Sorry I'm late.
Even during the time of your father, we were they have people in all the media outlets.
So, in your view, has the role of the media increased or decreased over the years?
It will increase, especially with the speed of communication now. We have the cell phone, the social media. You can read the news
On your telephone.
in your cell phone, and you can also text your opinion. They can manipulate public opinion. Even the surveys will be suspect at that point.
Well, the surveys have already become a little bit are taken with a grain of salt already.
Correct, correct.
So I guess that is a distinct possibility. So despite the fact that all of these things, the performances of the those who ally themselves with the yellow group have been dominant. Do you feel that that dominance will still for the last 30 years? Do you think that
No,
dominance
I
will
don't think.
continue?
I do not know whether they're dominant, but
Well, not now, but
you,
they have been.
you know, if they have a smartmatic, Bongbong. When I was in that government, I knew that I was there only temporarily because from the very start, I was actually like a pariah in the cabinet of Cory.
Yes, because you were considered the implementer, the main implementer of martial law, and I think the some of the orders that were signed by you and not and by then President Marcos. So kayo talaga ang sinisisi doon sa martial
At
law.
saka, hindi lang yun eh. 1 month after your father departed, I thought he will reopen the Batasan Pambansa. No, he did not reopen. She did was to consolidate
Yeah.
power unto herself by writing her own revolutionary constitution and assumed the powers, the executive power and the legislative power. The only thing she left was judicial power.
In the face of all of this, I think we come to the question: how did you think Cory did as president? Did you think
Well,
wala kami
I
dito,
must
so
tell
hindi
you that,
namin alam masyado yung mga detalye.
Bongbong, having been involved in the cabinet of President Marcos, and I'm not saying this to denigrate anybody, I was dismayed when in my first cabinet meeting with Cory, he did not make any decision. He will say, oh, Tito, Ginggona, Tito, ikaw naman magsalita. Mon, ikaw magsalita. Oh, Doy, ganun. Well, no decision. And I realized finally, personally, I'm sorry to say this, but I realized in that first meeting that I had in that cabinet, that the president that succeeded Jordan did not know anything about governance. And it showed afterwards.
Well, it wasn't.
He was the ones governing the country was not Cory. Other people who were around her. Oh.
Well, it's not surprising because if you look at her record, she has no experience or even inclination, as far as I could tell, for government work or public service.
Yeah. Well, I do not know whether it is true that she was very fond of playing mahjong. And that's why.
Well, since we've come to the subject of Cory Aquino, and I guess that brings us to EDSA. We've had more than one. We number them, like EDSA 1 and EDSA 2. But this popular uprising has become already a part of the political narrative or the political the political methods of unseating a government or bringing a government down. In your view, is that a good development? Should it be part of the narrative? Should we
Well,
choose our
you
leaders this way?
cannot prevent people from marching in the streets to peaceably assemble for redress of grievances. That's constitutional. But in the case of the first EDSA, the question is why EDSA? Who decided that the event must be in EDSA? Cory did not decide that. None of the Liberal Party people decided that. They were all gone. They were in Cebu.
While the drama in Manila was unfolding, Aquino was in the southern city of Cebu, continuing a post-election campaign advocating civil disobedience.
It was there because we went to
The camps
Camp
were there.
Aguinaldo,
Yes, right.
and that is where the confrontation took place. Now, as far as we were concerned in the RAM, we never planned to involve the people. It was plainly, purely a military action,
action.
but with one condition, that we will not harm the president and his family. It just happened that it burst that day because of things that I do not want to discuss now, no? Involving a group of generals who had also a political plan. I do not know whether your father, I'm sure your father did not know, or your mother, but they had a political plan
To
for the country.
to establish an alternative government.
From my point of view, I had to do something about it at that point in our history, because I was involved with the military. I was the head of the Department of Defense. I did not involve the generals of the military because they were involved. And so I had to work with young people in the military who were idealistic enough to agree to protect the interest of the country and the Filipino people without involving the people themselves. You see? But God was with us, because that event turned out to be bloodless. No?
Yes,
Oh,
because
because your father restrained himself.
I understand you gave them orders to wait.
I
And,
told them to wait because
They are massing civilians near our troops, and we cannot keep on withdrawing. They asked us to withdraw yesterday. When I talked to Mr. Enrile, he said, you talk to you, we withdraw a
disperse.
little.
My order is to
We
disperse the
cannot withdraw all
crowd
the time, Mr. President. We
without
must.
shooting them. No, hold on. You disperse the crowd without shooting them.
I remember many of his advisors at the time in the palace, when we were observing what was happening in the camps with you and General Ramos. Many were advising him to
I read the book
attack.
of Art Arvisa, no?
But
And I saw the restraint of the president as gleaned from that book. And I saw also the folly of our plan to assault the palace. If we assaulted it, we could have been massacred. Because at that point, you were prepared already.
we were very well prepared. I mean, I think it's the first time we are able to talk about it.
We would have been massacred there, you know.
In fact,
But I think there was a guiding hand that more or less controlled that event. By the way, I did not know that your dad was sick. Huh?
Hmm.
If you remember, I went to the palace. I do not know whether you heard about this. July of 1985, I was resigning
Why were you resigning?
because some people reported to the president that my men in the Department of Defense were scaling buildings at night. It was true that we did, but that was in connection with his instruction to me to organize an anti-terrorist group unit in the Department of Defense.
So on that basis, you thought that you did not, you no
No,
longer.
they were saying that you were planning something. Although, to be truthful, at that point we were organizing because I received an information that there was a military junta and that I was supposed to be executed by that junta if
But
something happens to
why-
your
why-
president.
why-
I did not know that the president was sick at that time.
Why were you on the kill list of that junta? Why are you the declared
Probably because I was a
enemy?
hindrance to their political objective.
So unbeknownst to many or most people, there was a plan for a military takeover already,
Correct.
and the junta was already organized.
Yeah.
Can you tell us who the members of the junta were? Well, maybe for
You
a
will be surprised. The chief of his staff,
Hmm,
the general of the head of the Philippine Army,
the army.
the head of the Philippine Air Force, the head of the Philippine Navy, the head of the Philippine Coast Guard. Those were the members of the junta.
How were they going to take over the reins of power?
According to the information I received, if your father died, they were not supposed to announce it at all. They will keep it away from the knowledge of the public. They will invite all the members of the cabinet in the name of your father for a cabinet meeting. And once we are in the palace, we will be quarantined.
Mhm.
But in my case, I will have to be executed.
This is something that again, I don't think maybe this is the first time that this information has seen the light of day.
Well,
So the uprising of what became EDSA was not a break with my father. It was an opposition to this junta.
correct. But it just happened that on the day we went to Aguinaldo, we were already going to be arrested by the presidential guards
Well, because they
because of the information that you got, that the palace got. And naturally, we had no other way except to defend ourselves.
I think it reached a fever pitch when you were barricading, because I remember those helicopters. There's very famous photograph
Oh,
of the helicopters landing on the roof and unloading firearms and military equipment. And nagbarikada na sila,
that was the
magbabarricade na.
helicopter of
ng army.
no,
Yung
that
mga
was
Huey.
that was the helicopter of, assigned to the Secretary of National Defense.
MND yun. I see. Yun na nga.
That was
But
the helicopter I was using.
they came and the photographs were
Correct. Correct.
published of them unloading firearms,
Correct.
unloading military
Correct.
equipment, communications equipment. And the assessment in the palace at the time was that this is the beginning of a coup d'etat. But we had information beforehand that there was going to be an attack on the palace.
Correct.
I received the information.
But there was no plan to harm the president.
That is what Greg Honasan also told me when we talked about this long after
That
the
was
actual
that was
events.
our common agreement.
And Minister Enrile commandeering the complex housing the Ministry of Defense.
Well, Tito, I have been all this time since 1986. I have been wanting to ask you a question,
Oh.
and I have never found the opportunity
Oh.
to do it. And I think this is a good time.
Yeah.
After all that happened in EDSA, after all of this uprising, etc., nandun na kami, dinala na kami sa Guam and then eventually to Hawaii. bakit hindi kayo ang nagpresidente? You knew the characters that
Alam
were
mo,
involved and you were much more
you
qualified than
know,
any of them.
your dad was giving me the government in the morning of Tuesday, February 25.
I remember, Tito, I was there when he made the phone call to you.
Correct. He was stopping. He was asking me to ask authorities to postpone her oath taking. But I told him I would try. You know, Bongbong, I did not intend to take over power in the first place. But while I was inside Camp Aguinaldo, Camp Crame, I was thinking about what will happen. And I said, if the military will take over, I will involve the country into a possible civil war. Because the election was just finished. There is a big block of votes that voted for Cory. There was a big block of votes that voted for your father. And I was not exposed to the electoral process at that point. I'm sure that if the military took over and I assume power, I will have enemies inside my military organization also. Then there is a possibility that the two forces that fought in that election will combine. So,
Was it likely?
it's possible.
I suppose yung tropa namin and those who were opposed to you within the MND
Yeah.
center.
And then you have the bulk of the military at that point, who did not know where they will situate themselves. All of that I thought about it. By the way, Monday night, I called for Jimmy Ongping to come to Camp Crame, and I said, this event that is happening now will be a protracted event. Let us organize a provisional government to handle the running of our revolutionary government. I said I proposed 5 cabinet positions: just defense, finance, local government, justice, and foreign affairs. Sa inyo yung 4, kako, na posisyon. Sa amin, yung defense. Because I wanted to balance their political forces against the military forces. Alam mong ginawa nila that night? That is where I started to suspect them. They filled all the positions in the cabinet. They organized their own cabinet.
But you had an agreement
Yeah,
previous to
well,
that.
I had an agreement with Jimmy Ongping. Ay kako, hindi po na mga totoo na tao na itong kausap ko.
Yes, it's always been a mystery to me because you were positioned perfectly to take over the reins of power. And we were all a little surprised watching this again from far away. And we were saying, for sure, I'm sure, si Minister...
I was afraid not for myself, but for the country, that it will cause a bloodbath.
I think you were similar in thinking to my father because one of the reasons, and I asked him this directly, is that why were you so hesitant to use force in 1986? Nung talagang papasukin na yung palasyo, binobomba na tayo, binabaril na tayo, ganun. Why were you not, marami naman kaming tropa, we were very well prepared because as I said, we received the information about imminent attack on the palace 1 week before you and General Ramos went to Crame and made your stand in Crame. So we had the chance to prepare. So we were wondering why did we not fight back with force? And he said that would have been the beginning of a civil war.
Yeah.
Which I think is exactly the way you saw it.
That afternoon of when you left the palace, I do not know whether you were with the president.
I was.
When he called me, first he asked me, "Do you have any troops around the palace?" I said, "Mr. President, we do not have any troops around the palace." I said, and but there are people firing at us. Well, those are not our people. Can you send someone to help us to stop those firings? And so I said, I will send General Olivas there. Then I mentioned to him that I have just spoken to Ambassador Bosworth
Bosworth at the time.
at the time. And then he stopped for a while. And then he said, can you call him back and ask him to make available to me the services of General Allen, Teddy Allen, so that we can leave Malacanang. I called up Bosworth after our conversation. I called up Bosworth and I told him about the request of the president. After a while, Bosworth called me up and he said, can you ask General Ramos to coordinate with Teddy Allen to help in the departure of the president from Malacanang? And that's what I did.
I remember very well that it was General Allen. We remember we were waiting for the American helicopters.
Yeah.
Because the presidential helicopters was also in Malacanang Park. But they had already been strafed. So may tama na, so they were, but then the proposal was that they would send helicopters from Clark. They sent 2 big helicopters from Clark. And I remember when we crossed Pasig River, the officer who met us was General Allen.
After I talked to the president, I wrote to Wakwak, to the house of Josephine Cojuangco, the sister of Cory, because that's where she was. Cory was there. And then when I arrived, his whole cabinet, the people who became her cabinet officials were there, and Doña Aurora. And then I reported to Cory about my conversation with your dad, as well as my conversation with Bosworth, and that the president, your dad, was departing Malacanang. And then Cory did not know anything about that event. She called Bosworth. And then I remember Cory saying, shouted over the phone, no, I do not want him here. Let's take him out.
That's it. I remember that. I remember that. That was in the middle of the night already. We were already in Clark. The Americans were still, did not know quite what to do with us. The original arrangement is that we will be flown to Ilocos.
Cory requested that from Bosworth when I made the report to Cory. And because of the interregnum, the gulo at that point, probably the transmission of the information to the operating units of the American military was delayed.
Well, we were awoken. Well, we hadn't slept, but it was in the middle of the night. I remember General Allen asked to see my father, and I said that he's resting and he's not in the best of health. And what is it about? And he sat us down and he said that we were surrounded by NPA forces, and that there were 2 columns of NPA units coming.
There were no NPA. Well, that was already they misinterpreted the Poway to Hawaii.
that was what eventually became the joke. On that basis, they said we have to fly you out immediately. And instead of going to Poway, and the excuse that was given was that we cannot fly to Poway because Poway does not have lights to land in the middle of the night. And
because, you know, I knew that your dad had an intention of going up north. Because in the morning of Tuesday, he asked, if I go north, do you think I'll be protected? Of course, I told him. And if I get out of the country, can I come back? And of course, Mr. President, you are a president of the country, you're free to come back to the country. Those were my answers to him. Oh,
So it was very much a decision at that time na ayoko dyan. Basta get him out of the country was
Yeah.
then Cory's decision.
Well, siguro sabi ni, nakinig sila kay Cory, yung mga Amerikano, because sabi niya, peremptory yung kanyang sabi.
Mm.
No, I do not want him here. I take him out of the country.
Well, that seems to be the same report that we got, and actually, eventually, the Americans told us that we were actually said the instruction was that not to be brought anymore to Ilocos, but to be taken out of the country. So Tito, let's take all of this now. With this as the foundation of all of the as a historical background context.
The history was totally distorted to favor one group.
And it is unfortunately continuing. That is why exercises
Yeah.
such as these are
And,
important.
Little by little, the truth will come out.
Well,
I'm glad that you have asked me to join this conversation so that at least we can somehow correct the distortions of history.
I am very grateful to you.
And I'm
Tito,
willing to challenge anybody here in this country to debate with me about the events.
Well, Tito, your knowledge and your perspective is based on actual experience and actual facts. I think that is the difference between you
I did not
and those that
manufacture
have been
facts.
challenging you.
I have not lied to the people. I have not manipulated the events. I dealt with them as I faced them.
Well, Tito, on that note, I
Thank
think
you.
I know it is for me to thank you for allowing us a view into the
Anytime,
into,
any place, I'm always
Hi, Ubats. Nakamute pala ako. Hindi niyo sinasabi. Hi, Ubats. Trixie Trixie Rica. Miguel South, Roger Evans, Neil Arcio. Si Trikwa Villa, si Scarclea, Riddler Official, Doding Daga, Pugad Baboy, Ubats 1975. Red One, Jocelyn Barlam, Ryan, Roger Evans, Sexy Rica. Yun. Binabati kayo ni Nilda Arcio. Si Red One, binabati si Ryan, Ma'am, Trixie, Roger, Redler, Madam President Carclea. Si President Carclea, binabati po si Red One. Si Red One, binabati po si Nilda Arceo, si Roger Evans. Binabati po si Nilda Arceo at si Red One. Good morning, Tatay, sabi ni Nilda Arceo. Thank you for the greeting. Si Red One, Ma'am Nilda, sabi niya. Pugad Baboy, Ma'am Nilda, Arceo, hello Riddler. Si Riddler po ito. Shout out Ma'am Nilda Arceo, ninja account ko. Di ako pwedeng pasok sa main ngayon. Siguro may LS ka. Sabi ni Sexy, mega love shout, Ma'am Nilda Arceo, hello. Oops, now it's back. Dati naghang. Kaya tinanggal ko na yung visit na speaker eh. Naghahang. Yes, me too. Patong ko, kalimutan ko na. Hehe. So, Pats, good day. So, Pugad Baboy, Doding Daga. Oh, yan, Doding Daga. Meron ka ng subscription. Texas Rica, Jude Selim Berlam. Buti yan, nagsusubscribe, nagsusuporta kayo sa bawat isa. Carclea, binabati si Nilda. Jay Cabal, nandito si Jay Cabal. Thank you, Jay Cabal. President Carclea, magandang buhay po. Good morning. Bumalik si Carclea. DJ, love, with the heart. Red One, binabati si Jay Cabal. Si Jay Cabal, Yahoo, Red One, mega love shout. Si Ubats, binabati po si Roger Evans at si Red One. Tanong ni Pugad ba, Roger, ito na ba ang bagong account mo? Lili Ragasa. Good evening, Tatay Jackferdz. So, may balita sa Hawaii. Ma'am Lili Ragasa, may mega loud shout. G. Freeze. Hello, Tatay. Matagal na akong boycott product ng China dahil kasi masira. It's an individual choice. Pero if you involve the whole country, that's an entirely different story. I usually do not buy. Si Direktora ayaw nga ng Chinese products eh. Lalo na sa foodstuffs. Kasi nadalas daw mayroong silang idinadagnag that's not healthy. I don't know if that's true. Kaya nga, hindi rin kami bumibili ng Chinese product, but there are essential products from China that we need. So I will discuss it later on. Sis Lily, si Red One, binabati rin si Ma'am Lily. Si Carclea, President Carclea, binabati po si Dio Preface. Jay Cabal, binabati si Ma'am Nilda. Si Jay Cabal, Gio Priest, mega love shout out. Si Trixie Rica, aloha Ma'am Lily Ragasa, Gio Priest, Jay Cabal official. Si Lily Ragasa ulit, aloha classmates. Sis Carclea, Sis Ryan, Sir Roger, Sir Redwan, Sir Nilda Arceo, Pugad Search, Upatch 1975, G. Frisch, saka si Sir J. Yahoo, Madam Trexie, sabi ni Jay Cabal. Madam Lily Ragasa, binibate ni Jay Cabal. Mahalo, Ma'am Trexie, Rica, sabi ni Lily Ragasa. Nilda Arcio, binibati po si Lily Ragasa. Napit na matapos. Hello, Lily Ragasa. Hi, Stephen Martin Jewel. We will visit your channel later on after the show. Thank you for visiting this channel. Let us support these two lovely people. Hi, Steve and Tina. Shout out Jay Cabal, Ma'am Lily Regasa. No audio? Wala bang audio? And Chief Fat Buds. Nandyan na ang kanyang premiere daw. Mag-premiere daw siya. Yan ang kanyang address. Si Jay Cabal, good morning, Tatay Jack. May audio na ba? Okay. Nakamute po, walang marinig. No audio po, no audio. Lahat kayo. Hi, Daniel. Nandito na si Daniel Sport Perry. Kaklaya says, hi, Daniel. No audio, sabi niya. Nagagalit na. May audio na ba? Sabi ni Jay Cabal, ni Roger Evans, dikit naman po, please. Please, yung aking pagsusumamo sa inyo, that's automatic na po na magdikitan kayo. Kasi ang opinion ni Jay Cabal, basta China product, fake na walang quality, pero pag sila gagamit ng kanang product, napaka high-tech. Meron pa bang bus fire near homes in Lakewood area, Washington State? Meron pa ba another? Idol Reader, ilapit mo ang 100 subs. Lapit na mag 100 subs na sana, ha, sabi niya. Food buds, kinigreet, President Park Harclea. Meron na po. Tinanggal ko na kasi yung visit na high-tech na po. Hindi ko magamit. Jackferdz, hello po. So, meron ka na bang jacket? Tigtatmin ko. Handali ha. I'm sorry if hindi ko mahanap yung Road TV. Hindi ko mabigay yung jacket mo. Jackferdz, hello, watching your TV, Sir Roger, jacket issue sa'yo. Yes, Tatay Jackferdz, Washington State pa yung may bus fire pa lang. Thanks, Sir J. Another account po to. Tatay Jack, Sheila Maceda to. Oh. So, bibisitahin ko yung account mong yan. Cleia, hi, Road TV, welcome. Oh, dikitan nyo na yung ibang account ni Sheila Maceda, please. Ruel, oh, love ka ni Cleia. Roger Evans, shout out, Road TV, kilala mo na si Bayanihan ni Mang Urut. Oh, that's the other account of Roger Evans. Hi, President Kaklet, sumaglit lang ako. Okay, thanks for. But we're going to miss you, Ruel. Road TV Vlog, account ni Sheila Maceda, okay po, host. Okay. Magbasa na tayo ng news. Bago ito, ah. Ito hindi ko alam. Okay. So, nabalitaan niyo, mayroong mga 21 US militia vessels on the way to Pagasa. At saka sa pa, hindi ko alam na winidraw pala ng Estrada administration yung Benguet to accommodate yung visit ng Chinese official dito sa ASEAN Summit. Kayo nang na misunderstood ng China na itoto din yung BRP. Pero sabi naman yung Orly Mercato na hindi yun nangangahulugan na itoto nila yung BRP Sierra Madre. Kaya lang, mayroon silang pagkakamali. Bakit na nilis yung Benguet, BRP Benguet sa Scarborough Shore? Ngayon wala na tayong presence at doon mayroon ng mga military presence ang China. Yan din ang pagkakamali ng, I suppose, the Estrada administration to accommodate yung China. Mga trador yung mga yan. Okay. Basahin natin ng balita-balita little by little. Lahat ng balita po rito ay documented sa mayroong backup po. Mamaya yung komentaryo kasi last part yun. So, ang latest news sa Hawaii, Lily Regasa, this shows that the president is concerned about the Filipinos in Hawaii. So, nasa sa latest news, minomonitor niya daw ang sitwasyon ng Pinoy sa mga Hawaii. Aftermath ng wildfires sa Maui. Yan ang balita. Yan ang isa na saad niyan. Inasyon niya ang ating Pangulo na ng ating gobyerno ay tutulong sa mga Pilipinong na naapektuhan sa Maui wildfire sa pamamagitan ng Department of Foreign Affairs and Department of Migrant Workers. So hindi niya pababayaan ng mga Pinoy. Kailangan lang malaman nila ang number of Filipinos possibly affected by the massive wildfires po. Yan ang sinasad ng balita. Yan ang interpretasyon ko sa Tagalog. Sinabi niya na ang consulate sa Honolulu ay ready mag-assist sa mga victims ng wildfire. Yung mga survivors po, sabi wala daw warning sa community sa impending disaster. So biglaan lang daw. Isang survivor daw, Annalise Cochran, decided to jump into the sea where was her only choice. Imagine that. Jumped into the sea. Grabe na talaga siguro ang fire. Meanwhile, the Philippine Consulate General in Honolulu is conducting outreach mission in Maui to provide passport and assistance to national services to Filipinos affected by the wildfire. Mabuti naman. Siyempre, yung nasunugan sila, nawalan sila ng passport. At saka mga dokumento that they need to go back to the Philippines and whatever they are going to use the passport for. So, in other words, ang presidente natin ay inaasikaso pati yung mga taong nasa ibang bansa na Pilipino. Ito mabigat. Secretary Jokno on the need to reform the MUP pension fund. Ito, malaking problema talaga ito. Kaya madalas kong talakayin ito. Kung may news, tatalakayin ko kaagad. Kasi ang nabigla ko rito, ang pension fund na babayaran ng gobyerno sa taong ito ay mas malaki pa ang ibabayad sa pension o retirement benefits kaysa sa actual operating expenses ng AFP. Paano nangyari yun? Mas malaki pa ang bayad kaysa sa operating expense. Kasama na dyan ang sweldo ng active personnel. Tsaka yung logistics na kailangan nila to conduct their day-to-day affairs. Biro mo yan, mas malaki ba daw? Di ba? Nakakatakot sa ating ekonomiya. Ang sabi niya, as of now, ang utang natin nga estimated, yung kinumpute nila na utang daw ng gobyerno. Kung ang estimate nila yung length of their life in terms of months ay 9 trillion na. 9 trillion out of the 20 trillion na ating gross domestic product. Ang laki na noon. Kaya nakakatakot po. Basahin natin ang sabi niya. Basahin po. Kaya wag kayong magpapaniwala na hindi kailangan i-reforma ang Military Uniform Personnel Pension Fund. Yan ang reporting po ng PhilStar. Doon sa hearing, sabi niya, ang pension daw fund daw, hindi talaga pondo. Kasi kung you talk of a fund, yung may contribution po ang tao at sa counterpart na gobyerno. Kaso dito sa pension retirement benefits ng mga uniformed personnel, it cannot be called a fund kasi they did not contribute to anything into the fund. There is no fund to talk about at all. Walang pundo. All the payments are made from the government coffers or from the government treasury. So how can it be called a fund? Tama siya. Tama siya. Sabi niya, during the Senate Committee as Finance hearing, sabi niya, Jogno argued that the current MU pension fund system is not a real one. Yun ang sabi ko, explain ko na sa inyo kung bakit hindi talagang matatawag na fund yan. Kasi ang fund, wala silang contribution doon. So, what they receive is the actual monies coming from the actual budget of the government. Wala silang pondong pinagkukuhanan. Para maintindihan po natin. Para hindi tayo linlang ng mga bumabatay ka sa reform. As MUP continues to enjoy benefits of a pension system even without contribution to the fund, the government appropriates a budget annually for it. So, ang pambabayad sa kanilang benepisyo nanggagaling sa appropriation po. If you let this continue, the next administration will be faced with a huge problem. Ang kawawa daw yung susunod na administrasyon. At i-blame kay BBM, kay Pbbm, kung hindi naayos po ang problemang ito. Sasabihin na, hindi naayos ni Pbbm eh. So wala akong kasalanan dyan. Ang susunod na administrasyon. So kailangan ayusin na ni Pbbm ang problemang ito. Ang bigat po, maraming consequence ang mangyayari kung hindi po maayos ang problemang ito. Ito importante, pinaka-importante po ito. Our current situation is that the amount we allocate for the MUP pension is much higher. It's much higher. Hindi nyo nare-realize yan. It's much higher than the current operating budget of the military. That's how heavy it is. Pero sa benepisyo, mas malaki pa ang tinatanggap nila kaysa araw-araw na pang-operate ng military. Mas lalong lalaki po ang problema. If it is not, if the problem is not solved, mas lalaki ang problema. Kaya madalas kong talakayin ito kasi importante sa ating bansa na malaman ko anong mangyayari po sa ating bansa kung sakasakaling hindi natin ma-solve ang problem na ito. Yung mga kasundaluhan na ayaw pumayag sa reforma, sila rin ang malalagot. Kasi kung wala tayong yung budget natin ay kulang, mapipilitan tayong humiram ng pera, both local and foreign borrowings po para ma-fulfill lang ang commitment natin sa mga military uniform personnel. At may risk po dyan. Kung palala ng palala ang uutangin natin, magkakaroon ng downgrade of our credit standing. Ang sabi niya, baka maging junk status na lang ang ating credit standing. Kung nangyari yun po, mahihirapan pong humiram ang gobyerno sa outside sources. At kung makahiraman man sila, higher ang interest rates. So, mas lalong pabigat po sa ating budget. Yan ang ibig sabihin ni Secretary Jokto. Mas mahusay si Jokto kasi kaysa sa atin kasi alam niya, he's been involved in financial matters for such a long time. The Philippines is at a risk of the credit downgrade if the pension system of the military and uniform personnel is not fixed, as if this will continue to eat a huge chunk of the national budget. Di ba yan? Madalas kong sabihin sa inyo noon. Di ba totoo, nagkakatotoo yung aking sinasabi? Malaking porsyento ng ating budget, kakainin lang ng mga benepisyo ng mga military uniform personnel. They're not even 10% of the population. They're eating up much of the budget. Is that fair? Di dapat mag-contribute sila ng konti-konti? These are disturbing news. The amount of an interest rate afforded to the Philippines depends on its credit rating by the major agencies, Moody's, Fitch, and S&P. Alam mo, recently lang na-downgrade ang credit rating ng US. Anong resulta? Ang stock market ng US, and I should know, nagkaroon ng downturn ang stock market recently lang dahil sa pag-downgrade ng credit rating. Ang resulta niyan, ang borrowing cost ng United States is tataas. So mapipilitan din ang Federal Reserve na itataas ang interest rate. Tataas ang mga interest rate ng credit cards. Tataas ang interest rate kung manghihiram ka sa bangko. So, bakit nila gagawin yun? To curb the inflation. Kaya nga, these things, masakit pong ang solution sa mga military uniform personnel, then they must also share in assuring that our economy will not suffer. They have a responsibility to our people as pertains to the economy. If we ignore the MUP pension, our investment grade, nabasa ko na. And our investment grade may become junk. Yung sinasabi kong junk. It will be more difficult for us to finance our budget. Mas mahirapin tayong magpinas ng ating budget. And also difficult for the private sector to borrow money. Yan ang consequence po kung hindi po ma-reform ang ating ang MUP pension fund. It doesn't deserve to be called a fund at all. Okay. Anong may mga bagong kan? Sabi ni Jay Cabal, watching your video, Sir Roger, dan dikit na po. Good. Yes po, tatay. Sabi ni Sexy Rica, vlogs sa Washington State po yung brush fire. Thanks, Sir Jay, sabi ni Roger Evans. Tapos ka ng pag-watch ng one video mo rin dikit na dikit, para dikit na dikit. Si Road TV, another account ko, Tatay Jackferdz, Sheila Maceda po ito. So, mamaya na kita bibigyan ng jacket. Hi Road TV, I welcome. Si Kaktea, binabati si Ruel. Si Roger Evans, shout out po. Road TV vlog, kilala mo na kung sino si Bayanihan Mang Road, dikit lang ha. Hi President Kaktea, sumaglit lang ako, sabi ni Ruel. Okay po host, okay. Kaktea Fontella, namimiss ka na namin, Ruel. Oh, sila mo, Ruel? Kung wala ka, they miss you. Walang Sky sa walang FI, tagal na. Ganun ba? Road TV vlog, okay, Roger Evans. Listening while feeding my tendo. Dami mong aso. Road TV vlog. 10:28 a.m. sa Pinas. Happy birthday po. Thank you. Hi, Life Wins Vlog. Hi, Clea, sabi ni Life Wins Vlog. Junior. Hi. Hello, Ma'am Sheila. Okay. Thank you for the greeting, Life Wins Vlog. Ito, malaking issue po to. Marcos names Chief ex-Chief DFA Chief Locsin as special envoy to China for special concerns by Felicia Bao. Maraming bumabatikos daw sa desisyon ni Presidente Marcos na i-appoint si Teddy Boy Locsin as a special envoy for concerns sa China. Kasi anti-China daw siya eh. Yan ang batikos sa kanya. Remember, sa backgrounder po, si Teddy Boy Locsin ay ang tatay niya ay nabilanggo sa panahon ng dating Presidente Marcos sa propaganda yung pinagkakalat niya. Pero hindi tinitigyan na niya ni Presidente Marcos. Tinitignan niya kung qualified po yung tao. Inappoint nga niyang extraordinary ambassador dun sa England, si Ambassador Teddy Boy Locsin. Nakita niya siguro maganda ang trabaho. Itong si Teddy Boy Locsin, yun ang nagsabi, during the time of President Duterte, get the fuck out of the West Philippine Sea. Ibig sabihin, pro-Filipino siya doon. Ang sinasuggest ni Banat Bay, either si President Duterte o si Cayetano ang ipadala as special envoy. Sa akin lang, ba't ka pang papadala ng envoy na have pro-Chinese sentiments? Dapat pakita mo doon sa Chinese na matatag ka. Papakita mo yung hindi mai-influensya ng China dahil sa pro-Filipino mo. Kanya na ginawa ng ating magaling na presidente. Ang napon niya, yung kilalang anti-China para hindi pwedeng bulahin ng China. Bakit na papadala mo ang isang envoy na in the past ay hindi umangal sa China? Bagkus ay para bang sunod-tunuran sa gusto ng China. So tama po ang ginawa ng presidente na inappoint niya yung taong mag-protect sa ating Philippine interest na hindi mabubola. Dinabati ko siya ni Banat Bay. Nagpunta ako sa channel ng magaling na vlogger din, si Trunks React Channel. Okay yung diskusyon niya. Believe ko sa pag-discuss niya. So punta natin balita. Yun lang, hindi ko na kailangan basahin po yun ang konteksto ng balitang yun. Mababasa nyo na yung balita. Isa pang balita na hindi ko na-post kasi kulang na ako ng oras. Si Congressman Tebes, hindi na po congressman. Tinanggal po siya sa kongreso ng kanyang mga colleagues. Halos unanimous po. Tatlo lang yata ang hindi bumoto para sa kanyang pagkatanggal. Pero lahat po ng congressman, congresswoman, lahat binoto na siya ay tanggalin. Kasi matagal na siyang absent. Sana kung umuwi siya, yan lang ang masasabi ko. I'm not an expert in law. Kaya, sabi, tama yung ginawa ng Kongreso. Hindi siya umuwi. Hindi niya ginagampanan ang kanyang tungkulan bilang isang kongresista. So, dapat lang na tanggalin. Yan, si Tevez. Yung sa huli po. Yung sa huli, short lang nating live stream ngayon. Yung sa huli, yung kay Oli Mercado. Si Oli Mercado, si former senator, he was the defense chief of our former president, Erap. Okay. Sabi dyan, former Oli Mercado, former Defense Secretary Oli Mercado, talks about the BRP controversy. Sabi ko, former Senator Oli Mercado, former Secretary of National Defense, said BRP Sharamati was deliberately run aground at the Ayun Shoal to serve as an outpost in the West Philippine Sea. So, talagang purposely pong pinasadsad ang ating lumang-luma sa nabarko para mag-serving outpost. That means na mayroon tayong presence na sa sa Ayungin Shoal. Ang plano daw was inaprubahan ng ating dating Presidente Joseph Estrada. So, si Joseph Estrada ay siyang may pakana na magkaroon ng presence ang Pilipinas sa Ayungin Shoal. Pasalamat tayo sa kanya. Siya may pakana. Siya rin ba magtatanggal? Logic lang na hindi. Nabuka siyang tanga. Ang plano daw is to ground it intentionally at the same time. It will serve as an outpost. Ulit na yan. That post will be maintained and the truth stations there will be given enough provisions and services. So matagal na bro, 1999, ginagawa ng ang pag-resupply at saka pag-maintain ng services sa BRP Sierra Madre. Lahat ito, from credible sources po, hindi tayo nag-invento. Ito nakakatakot. First time po, a U.S. maritime security expert, ito lang, expert na ba? Meanwhile, said that 21 Chinese militia ships were spotted heading towards Pagasa Island in the West Philippine Sea. Hindi po yan. Basta-basta, 21 ships, dagdag pa sa kanilang presence there. Talagang nagpropobog po ang China. Sabi nila, you meet us halfway. But behind the back, dinadagdagan pa nila ang persa. So instead of de-escalating the tension, they're heightening the tension by allowing 21 militia ships, although they are not military, they are privateers, armed. Militia yun eh. Dinagdagan pa nila ang kanilang persa. And they said, we have to meet them halfway. Ano yan? Anong klaseng diplomasya yan? Anong klaseng diplomasya yan? Yung masasabi ko sa disturbing news about this. Okay. Former U.S. Air official and ex-defense attaché Ray Powell said PCG, Philippine Coast Guard, BRP Cabra found itself in the midst of a redeployment of Chinese vessels towards northwards to Pagasa West. Nasurround siya ng 21 militia ship. Mag-isa lang na. Okay. Basta tayo. Good morning. Tatay Jackferdz, Blacks, and everyone. Sabi ni Box 3. Si Box 3, pwede patamsak sa upcoming premiere niya. Nandyan yung address niya. Shout out kay Life Wins Vlogs, Sir Junior po. Patikit lang po sana road to 100 subs. Box 3, pwede patamsak upcoming HTTPs. Yun. Good morning, Jack and everyone. Nandito na si Mabel. So, how are you? there were two ships stationed before the other Benguet. Kaya nga, tatalakayin yan. I'm happy the president chose Teddy Boy Locsin. Kaya, agree tayo dyan. Dapat properly pinuang na point niya. Huwag yung mga dikit sa China, i-appoint. Ibabulahin lang tayo. Kung mga puro dikit sa China, ang i-appoint ng ating magaling na presidente. Kaya magaling ang mga moves ng ating presidente. Huwag natin pagdudahan. Ito yung sasabihin niyan, former defense chief Orly Mercado does not believe it is possible for the former President Joseph Estrada to commit to a BRP ceremony from the West Philippine Sea as he was the one who ordered it. Tama. Magmumukha siyang tanga kung ipapato niya. Nagmumukha siyang duwag. Matapang si Joseph Estrada. Pag-isipan natin. Mercado served during the Estrada administration, rejected columnist Rigoberto Tiglao. Hindi na ako naniniwala kay Rigoberto Tiglao, puro chismis ang sinasabi niya. Marami nang claim siya na hindi naman totoo. That it was Estrada who promised to remove the Navy ships, a claim that was immediately denied by the former president's son, Senators JV and Jinggoy. Tinawag nga si Roberto Tiglao makapili. Remember, si Roberto Tiglao was communist Leninist because he was a member of the communist rebellion at one time. Hindi pa naalis siguro ang kanyang pagka-komunista. I'm not giving a rash judgment, pero from the looks of it, sabi ni Orly Mercado, I don't believe that the president would have given them the promise. Kasi mayroong nangyari daw na baka na misunderstood ng China. It would be far-fetched for Estrada to away the ceremony which has been beached in the Ayungin Shoal since 1999, as he was the one who ordered its deliberate grounding when China started its incursion into the Philippine waters. May dahilan pala. Nag-i-start na sila mag-penetrate ng ating waters. So, ginawa ng matapang na presidente at that time, si Joseph Estrada, na ibaon yung ating bubulok na ship sa Ayungin Shoal. Ito na sinasabi mo, na ma-rebel. Sabi niya, he also said was deliberately grounded along with BRP Benguet. Mayroon pa, hindi ko ito alam. Dahil lang sa research ko, saka ko nalaman. Mayroon pa palang isang ship na was grounded hindi sa Ayungin Shoal, kundi sa Scarborough Shoal. But sa Scarborough Shoal, nandun yung Benguet. But Benguet was immediately removed due to what it looked like pressure from Beijing after it supposedly warned not to attend an upcoming ASEAN meeting in Manila if the Philippines would not do so. Ayun siguro na misunderstood ng China. Na because of their pressure, ay, to accommodate them visiting, attending the summit, tino nila yung BRP Benguet. I think I read somewhere na si Orly Mercado was against this move. Tingnan mo daw ang nangyari ngayon. Ngayon may presence na ang BRP, ang Chinese sa Scarborough Shores. Pero it doesn't mean na pumayag ang Presidente Arab na ito po yung BRP Sierra Madre. Nagkamali lang ta. I have to admit. Nagkamali sila sa pag-accede sa request ng China na tanggalin ang Benguet dun sa Scarborough Shore. Kasi dahilan yun para magkaroon ng presence ng China sa Scarborough Shore. Tama ka dyan, tama ka dyan po, Ma'am Maribel. Ulitin ko, nagkamali sila doon nung panahon ni Joseph na dahil lang sa pagbisita ng isang mataas na opisyal ng China ay tinanggal nila ang BRP Benguet sa Scarborough Shoal. Kasi yan ang kadahilanan kung bakit na mayroong presence ang China sa Scarborough Shoal. Si Orly Mercado was against removing the BRP Benguet sa Scarborough Shore. He made that clear in one of the news items I read. Malupit talaga si Maribel. I Roger Evans, sabi ni Life Wins Black, Tiglaw, pro-China. Yeah, I think so. He was ambassador to China, I think, on one time. Texi Rica, Michael love shout, Maribel Zavala, hello, bless him. Maraming nagmamahal sa'yo dito, Maribel. Melo Short Giving, Tatay, thumbs up. Okay. Welcome to the family channel. Mayroon siyang nilaglag na address. Supportan din po natin siya. New video po, sabi niya. Box 3, Maribel Sabala, Junior Life Wins Flags, Road TV, Roel TTS, Laila Guevara, Pat Budge, Daniel Berry. Pinati kayo ni Nilda Arcion. Si Maribel Sabara, hi sexy, been sleeping, depressed with what is suffering. Yeah, I believe that most of us are depressed also. Share your sentiment. Bukas birthday, Tatay Jackferdz, August 17. Advance, happy birthday. Maputi pa yung maagang babate para di makalimutan. Thank you. Ma'am Maribel, pinapalakpakan ka ni Junior. Kaklea loves Junior. Box 3, dan tamsak yung sa premium mo. Okay. But that did not mean the commitment was made. Mercado said Monday, the Chinese embassy in Manila maintained that the Philippines made such a promise that which was put on record and well documented. Kaso wala silang pinapakita. Beijing assertion came at the height of the dangerous water cannon attack on the Coast Guard perpetrated against Philippine personnel in the Ayungin Shoal, which happened in August 5. sabi niya, President Bongbong Marcos Jr. has already said that there was no promise by the government. So, si Presidente, kasi kung mayroong, I just thought of it, di ba when you sign an agreement, both parties have a copy of such an agreement, and it must be archived in the where do they archive it? In the record section or whatever. But normally, when you sign an agreement, there are two copies. One is belonging to, in this case, China. The other is belonging to the Philippines. But no such copy can be produced by the Philippines. And that's why they are asking China to produce a copy. Kasi buhay pa naman lahat ng taong concerned about the agreement. Why can't they produce the copy? Okay. Wala nang kwan. Nilda Arcio, dito Pilipinas, August 17, kaya happy birthday. Thank you, Nilda. Junior, Ma'am Carclea. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the birthday greeting. So, punta na tayo sa aking analysis. Ang tanong is boycotting the right response to China's bullying tactics? Tatay shares his analysis and opinion. Okay. Sabi ni Nilda, Tulaila, TTS, Road TV. Thank you very much, Nilda, for showing the way na dapat mag-subscribe kayo sa kapamilya nyo. Okay. This is I visited the channel of a friend earlier today, Trunk Reacts channel, and made some observation on some of the topics he discussed. Magaling po yan si Trunks. He's witty. I love Baby Shark. I was delighted in his witty dismantling of blogger Banat Bai's argument against the appointment of Ambassador Luxin as a special envoy to China. Believe ako sa kanyang analysis. I thought it was a brilliant piece of opinion making. Kudos to Trunks. Trunks, pinapalakpakan ka ng pamilya Jackferdz blog. Ito po, analysis ko, this is not to go against Trunks. Mayroon siya mga magagandang mga sinabi. What aroused my interest was his brief discussion of the suggestion of some senators for us to boycott Chinese products. So sorry for the long word na interest. Yun ang dinis kanya. Briefly lang, pero mayroon siya mga good points. Mayroon siya mga good points. Ano yung points niyang sinabi? Si Trixie Rica, hello, Tatay Jackferdz Vlogs, San Santos, Singaring Musika. Okay. Sabi ko, while I agree with most of his statement, I would like to give an opinion regarding the issue, this issue. Nag-agree naman ako sa kanyang may ibang opinion. Kasi maganda naman ang sabi niya. China might choose trade as a powerful as a powerful tool against us. So it is time for us to start looking for other markets so we cannot be bullied by them. And sorry for the missed word. Okay. It should read, might choose it as a powerful tool against us. So it is time for us to be looking for other markets so we cannot be bullied by them. Okay, tama yun. Yan ang ginagawa ng ating presidente ngayon. He travels abroad, seeking out trade deals with other countries, with other foreign dignitaries. Kaya nga, nagpunta rito si European Union President. Nagpupunta na rito yung mga iba-ibang mga ibang bansa. Yung Australian Prime Minister, bibisita na dito. That is what the President has been doing all along. Hindi lang hindi news. That's why he needs to travel. Because that is part and parcel of his strategy regarding China. He has to convert other nations to look favorably on our political and economic side, just in case China decides to bamboozle us militarily and economically. Yan ang ginagawa po ng ating presidente. Pero maganda yung suggestion ni Trump. I agree with him that this should be the solution to the problem. Remember, ito po ay aking pananaw lang. Problem, if it was immediately feasible and ready for implementation. Kasi yung sabi niya, yung 16% na trade kuha natin sa China, 16% daw. Yung pwedeng 2% dito, 2% doon, 1% dito, 1% doon. O, kung tama po, maganda po yung plano, maganda yung argument niya. There's nothing wrong with this argument. Kaya lang, is it feasible as of this moment? And is it ready for implementation? That is my only question. His idea is good. I do not disagree with this idea. I think he came up with a good suggestion. But then, is it now ready feasible as of now? Meron na ba tayong agreement na which will mitigate the impact of China's retaliation for our boycotting of their products? Meron bang tayong assured market? Yan ang tanong. Yan ang tanong. Maganda po yung suggestion niya. Pero is it feasible? Is it ready? Sabi ka, have we opened enough trade agreements with other countries? Mayroon na ba tayong trade agreements sa ibang bansa to offset China's embargo of our products, retaliation of our products, of our boycott of their products? Yan ang mabigat na tanong. Mayroon na ba tayong other markets na mag-offset sa mawawalang mga pagbibenta ng ating mga produkto? Dapat tanungin yan ng dapat sagutin yan ng mga senador. Hindi lang basta ura-urada, dapat pag-aralan mo mabuti yan. Hindi pwedeng boycott ka ng boycott. Anong mangyayari? If you do not have a trade, if you do not have trade agreements already in place, I would be the if we do indeed, I'm sorry, if we do indeed have trade agreements already in place, I would be the first to boycott. Oh, pag mayroon nang in place, well and good. Boycott natin para masaktan ang China. But if not, the result of such boycott would be this devastating to our economy. Tayo, dependent tayo mga 16 to more than 16%. Samantala, ang trade ng China sa atin doesn't even amount to 1%. We are not material enough for China. Samantalang ang China ay material po sa atin. Kaya-kaya nilang i-exipera tayo na hindi sila masasaktan mabuti. Pero tayo ay hindi natin kaya kasi kailangan natin mag-export ng ating mga produkto. Kundi, ano mangyayari? Ang mga factory natin ay magiging idle. Kung magiging idle yung mga factories natin, dahil hindi tayo makabenta ng mga ating produkto, mawawala ng trabaho ang kapwa natin Pilipino. Pag mawawala ng trabaho ang kapwa Pilipino, ay mag-aalburuto ay mga Pilipino. Magda-downhill po ang ating ekonomiya. Konektado maraming bagay. Wala tayong pang-suporta sa militar para labanan ng China. Wala tayong enough funds to support the general population. Tataas ang inflation kasi ang cost of buying products from abroad would increase. Kailangan muna establish muna natin yung alternative trading partners sa ating mga kaibigang mga bansa para mitigate o mabawasan ang epekto ng pag-boycott ng China sa ating mga products. Tatandaan nyo, hindi lang basta ayaw ko sa China. It's an individual choice. Pero pag gobyerno ang nagpanukala ng batasan ngayon, na boycott po ang China, ay masama po po yan. Masama po ang epekto sa ating bansa. Isipin nyo. Kaya nga, hindi nag-iisip yung mga senador. Dasa banat ang banat. Hindi nakakaroon tuloy ng idea ang China. Ay, pag na tayo bibili ng masyadong marami dyan, baka i-boycott ang ating mga products. Barbie, yun ang effect din po yun. Magbasa po tayo before we tapusin ko na lang aking komentaryo. Higher prices for our imports. Siyempre, tataas yung ordinary binibili mo na galing kay China, manggagaling sa States, ay baka doble po ang gastos. Tignan mo na lang sa telepono. Ang Apple kaysa Huawei. Ang lower export resulting in lower employment. Ang controlled inflation, tataas. Kasi tataas ang importation cost natin. Bababa ang exports natin. Our new trading partners, nalilin naman ako ng, may na-miss naman akong word. Our new trading partners might also exert trade pressures on us, knowing how desperate we are to sell our products. Oh, natural that the other countries will take advantage of us because they know desperado tayo sa trade. So they will always look for a better trade deal for themselves. It's a common practice. Sabi ko, these are but a few of the problems might arise from the boycott. Yun lang, niisip ko nga, marami pa sigurong dahilan. Maganda yung idea niya na to seek other foreign countries help so that we can we do not rely too much on China. That's a very good solution. Kung we have it in place right now. Kaya that's one of the reasons why the president needs to travel. Kasi he's the new kid on the block. Hindi siya kilala. Kailangan magpakilala siya. Hindi sinasabi ni Presidente yan. Pero kung magaling kang analista, a political analyst, marirealize mo yan. That's one of the reasons why he's traveling abroad to strike trade deals, to get investments. So that will come to produce products that is needed or that are needed by the world. Yun ang ginagawa niya. And for them to question his travels, they are being short-sighted po. Alam ko, some of you are in favor of boycott. But that is your choice. But I'm making you realize what will happen po. Ako nga, I don't buy many Chinese products. Only those that are necessary. When no other available product is in the market. Pwede ba mawalan ka ng ibang produkto na kailangan mo? Just because you boycotted your Chinese products? I hope you understand. I'm not against boycott. But pag-isipan po natin mabuti. Dapat well in place yung ating ekonomiya na it can stand on its own. Okay. Sabi ko, come to think of it. Tanong ko sa akin rin, come to think of it. There are many countries that China is at odds with. Marami siyang kaaway. Why haven't they resorted to boycotting Chinese products? Tayo lang ba ang mahusay? Tayo lang ang matalino na nakaisip ng ganyan? O mas matatalino ang mga politiko nila kaysa mga politiko natin? Yung mga yan, well-versed na sa politics. Ang mga economic and political personalities sa kanyang bansa. Why don't they advocate po yung boycott? Tayo lang ang matapang na nagsasuggest ng boycott. Ang tapang. Pinapakita natin sa Pilipino, matapang tayo. Hindi naman reality, prudence is better than valor. You have to live so that you can fight another day. Okay, yun ang summary ng analysis ko at opinion. If you disagree with my opinion, it's okay. I said my piece and I hope you were convinced. So that is That is what I am going to do. If there's some issue that is very controversial po, I'll give my piece of opinion. Na pag-aaralan nyo. I don't expect everybody to like my opinion. But sabi ko, pinag-aaralan ko mabuti yan. Okay. So, malapit na tayo magtapos. So, it's almost 2 hours. Stop to Lightwind's blog. Okay. Si Lightwind's blog, di na makawang isub yung blog niya. So, mag-subscribe po kayo sa kanya. Dapat isa lang alang ang pag-boycott sa anumang produkto na naglaman ng item mula sa China. Okay. Nanganguluban ito, anumang electronics ng bahagi ng naglalaman ng chip o mga bahagi mula sa China, kabilang dito ang mula sa ating maliliit na mouse, keyboard, camera, iPhone ka. Kung ibo-boycott nyo ang products ng China, maganda rin kayo ng mas maraming pera para mabili na hindi produkto ng China. Yan ang gusto kong sabihin ni Junior, I think. Di ang daming mawawala, ang daming gagastusin pa ng pera na pwede niyong panggastos sa mga pamilya no and other items. Pero na nakatipid mo, sirain nga. Pero sometimes yung sira, pag pamadali ang gamit, pwede na. Kung gusto mo talaga ng good equipment, bumili ka ng Japanese or American made. Pero mahal yun. Lahat ng mobile phone, kahit na ang mga kotse ay naglalaman ng napakaraming bahagi mula sa China. Ay, yan hindi ko naisip. O nga no, maraming pati galing sa China na galing sa imported abroad. Mga teka, gawa na sa China yan eh. Oh, American brand, pero ng China. Ibo-boycott mo niya. Ay, naku eh. Kung bibili mo yung kotse sa Tesla, magmula sa States, i-transport mo dito sa Pilipinas. Yung pamasahe lang, no? Trip. Pamasahe sa China, made product dito. Malapit lang sa atin kasi ang China. So, the freight cost is very much cheaper than if the freight cost ay yung pamasahe ng goods, freight. Kung manggagaling sa Amerika o sa Europe. Pati mga computer parts, ang dami pa. Maalam dito si Junior. He's techie. Isip-sipin nyo na lang. Ang Amerika, hindi pwedeng boycott ang China's products. Tinatas lang nila ang tax. Mayroon kamali ako. Mayroon palang ibinaban ang States. Yung electronic spying devices ng China, tulad ng Huawei. TikTok nga binaban na nga nila, pilit eh. Kasi it includes national security. Baka yun ang pwede. Bakit boycott agad? Dapat mag-manufacture o mag-produce muna tayo ng mga products na kaparentong nasa China that will lessen our importation. Yeah, tama. That's one of the solutions. Dapat nga, we produce our own. Tama. Correct. Yan. Hindi ko naisip yun. Dapat mag-produce tayo ng comparable items. Pero we need investment for that. We need technology for that. And that is what the president is doing. Kaya for the first time, yung mga American investors are coming to the Philippines. Sa last trip niya sa United States, nakakuha siya for the first time yung investment, yung mga taong mag-iimbestiga for possible investment sa ating bansa ay dumating. Kinuha nila ang lahat ng mga details. Sa kanya lang nangyari yun. That is the effect of our president's troubled road. We should be the one, whether what side we are now, or go against what are pro, set our political leanings to our Philippines. I agree with you. Dapat tayo maging pro-Filipino. Those who are leaning towards China, or who speak or make excuses for China, they should be castigated. They should be berated. Mama Rebel, Mabel. I do agree with you. Whether it is President Duterte, when she speaks in favor of China, una tayong babatikos siya. Maski siya namin, pag siya nagsalita in favor of China, una tayo dyan. Kasi ang prinsipyo ng China na ito, love of country, takes precedence over loyalty to any politician, blogger, or any person. Kailangan mahalin natin ang bansa natin. Emotional response kasi yung nagpakawala ng mga senador na ganong statement. Di pinag-isipan ng repercussions. Correct. Yung ibang vloggers ay nai-influence. Magaling itong politiko. Mas mahusay sa akin. Kaya, tama siguro ang sinasabi nila. Hindi nila ina-analyze sa mabuti ang sitwasyon. Tulad yung pang-analyze ko, may mali ba sa aking analysis? Sa aking opinion? Okay. Dito lang sa atin na nagtuturo tayo ng analysis of issues. Pwede niyong pag-isipan din. Taxi, it's our political leanings aside. Kung ano man, mas kayo ng political linis mo, kaliwa o kanan o maka-Marcos o anti-Marcos, pagdating sa bansa, dapat ay pro-Pilipino po. Not for boycott, but will not bow to China because afraid China might not buy our products. We can sell in other ASEAN. If we can sell our products, all of our products to the ASEAN, let us not bow. We are not going to bow to China if it's losing part of our territory. Pwede natin pangutang muna for the meantime. Nagsasuffer tayo ng konti, but our territorial integrity is intact. At saka, kung mangyayari yun, malilintikan din ang China siguro. If they are the ones starting to boycott us, I think our Chinese our ASEAN neighbors will come to our rescue, and our allies in the European Union, Japan, India, Australia will somehow make up for the trade difference. Kasi ni-start po ng China. Pero ang ayon nila is for us to start the trade war between China and the Philippines. Let us not start it. Individually, hindi ako bumibili ng Chinese products. Lalo na sa pagkain, mga canned goods. No. Minsan, pag nakakabili ako ng ganun, pinagagalitan ako ni direktora. Hindi mo binabasa yung label, sabi niya, made in China. We have our individual choices, but let's not make it a national policy. Yun lang sinasabi ko. Yeah. Kung you feel so strongly against China, then don't buy the products of China. At syempre, yung mga mura school supplies, etc., nabibili na ng pangkaraniwang Pilipino unless yung gusto ng mag-boycott na Chinese products ang gagastos para sa kanila. Nabibili na ang kan. Kasi due to competition, siyempre, yung ibang countries, napipilitang bawasan ang presyo dahil sa competition ng China. Mura po ang kanilang gawa. Ang mga pinagbebenta na. Sa Walmart nga sa dito sa States, karamihan ng produkto Chinese ang pinakamalaking store sa buong mundo, Walmart. Karamihan ng produkto, Chinese po. Hindi po American products yan. Chinese products. Okay. Sabi niya, smart ba yun talaga si Direktora? Nagagalit yan. Maski tanungin mo siya pag nakita kayo. Nagagalit. Kasi ako, hindi ko na, basta nakita ko kan, sunggab lang. Alam mo, lalaki. Sunggab lang. Pero sa, binubusisi niya yung mga label, di ba? Made in China. So, that is the gist of this live stream. I hope you learned something today. Una, ang presidente natin ay inasikaso yung mga kababayan natin na salanta ng wildfires. Hindi siya nagpapabaya maski nasa ibang bansa. Pangalawa, yung pension fund ay dapat i-reforma kasi sabi ni Secretary Duke, mas malaki pa ang binabayad sa mga retirees operation ng actual operating budget ng ating military. Yun na, nag-enjoy na lang sa buhay. Samantalang yung sa operation, nagtatayo ng buhay sila. Fair ba yun? Patom, binabati ko si Presidente Marcos kaya na-point po si Tiboy Lucen kasi blatantly anti-China daw siya. Ano ipapadala mo? Pro-Chinese na kung ano ang sabihin ay asang-ayon na lang sang-ayon. Kaya tama po ang desisyon ng ating presidente. At sa panghuli, yung key Oli Mercado. Pero dito, meron akong isang caveat. Medyo nagkamali sila na tinanggal yung BRP Benguet. Dahil lang sa pagbisita ng dignitaries from China. Ang nasabi, hindi daw atin kung hindi ito yung BRP Benguet. Yun siguro napagkamalan ng China na pumayag na ito yung BRP Benguet, pero hindi. Kasi ating matapang na presidente noon, siyang nagpalubog na nagpasadsad sa BRP Sierra Madre po. Okay. So, tapos na po ang live show. It's time now for our goodbyes. Paalam for now. Papaalam na po tayo. Smart buyer talaga si Direktora. Thanks Nilda Arceo, sabi ni Life Wins Vlog. Balikan mo, mag-subscribe ka rin back. Pag nakita lang nag-subscribe ka, magdidikit back sa iyo yung mga subscribers ko, Life Wins Vlog. Double birthday celebration mo, tatay, dito sa Pilipinas at bukas naman dyan. Happy birthday, Tatay Jackferdz. Thank you! Ay, Mashay, hindi kita mabibigyan ng jacket ka. Ay, subukan ko. Kasi nag-freeze na naman itong Machay, bibigyan na kita ang jacket. I'm sorry, na-delete. Bakit na-delete? Na-delete ko yung message mo, pero may jacket ka na, Mashay. Okay. Mashay, may jacket ka na. I'm sorry, na-delete ko yung, hindi take kasi si tatay. Hindi ko na-mistakenly napindot ko yung delete. Pero, meron ka na. Aside from that, ng jacket. Tingin ko kung, meron ka na. So, thank you very much, Mashay. Okay. So, babay na ba? Babay na po. Tatay, haranang kami sa iyo bukas. Kahit hindi marinig. Okay. Thank you. Good night, tatay, sabi ni Kakleya. Okay. Gaparaiso, thank you for visiting. I like your channel very much. Yung mga hindi pa nagsusubscribe, Gaparaiso, umpisa mo. Good night, classmates. Masay, salita mo, mayroon ka ng jacket. Si Trixie walang jacket, anak kong tinapay. And then, bibigyan ko ng, bakit ganun? Nagpalit kang pangalan, nawala yung jacket mo. Trixie, mayroon ka na. Mayroon ka ng jacket. Sa Ma'am Mabel, thank you for visiting. You are one of the loved most member of the family ni Tatay Jackferdz Vlog. We miss you always. Maraming nagmamahal sa iyo dito. Sog na daw tayo si Kakleya. Si happy birthday po. Nagtog na rin daw si Nilda Arceo sa iyo. Gab, pakiusap lang, Gab. Balikan mo naman sila. Kasi naiinis yung mga kapamilya members namin na hindi sila binabalikan ng dinidikitan nila. O, yan. Mag-iwan lang ng bakas kung saan nanggaling po yung dikit. Okay. O. So, sige, a few minutes lang kayo and then I'll just leave. Hello. Maganda ba yung analysis ko? Good night, Lily. Again, piniture ko yung Maui because of you. Naghanap ako yung news tungkol sa Maui wildfire disaster. Okay. See how I love my viewers? Cute ikaw na-late ka. Okay, sabi ni always learn something from you. Okay. Parehas halos pananaw naman kaliya. Oftentimes, always in sync ang ating pananaw. Napapansin mo? Oh, na yan, nakadikit na si Gab. Marunong magsukli ng dikit si Gab Paraiso. Kaya, subukan niyo siyang dikita mga kapatid dito. Oh. Oh. Kalang Gab ka masyadong nag-attend ng live stream. Sana mas marami ka pang makukuha. Paisa-isa lang, pero mas mabuti na yun kasi wala kang makuha. Ayan, nasabihin ka tuloy ng aming presidente. Cutie Connie, too early for the next LS. Kaya kung di siya makawas ng LS, she makes it certain na pinapanood niya ako sa replay. Always. Always po yan, si Connie. Parating pinapanood po ang aking replay ng LS. Thank you then. Thank you po, Tatay, for a great lesson. Okay, I gave you the correct understanding of the effects of boycott. Ako talaga, hindi mo bili ng Chinese products. But for a national policy, I guess it doesn't work. There are things that we need also from China. Okay. Okay. So I guess that's the end. Bye. I love you. I love you all.